As I've been following this story, I find myself more interested in Colleen's case than the strange transmission that led me to her. 2 days ago, Raven sent me the photocopies of Colleen's journal for me to write in some college paper, but I couldn't, in good conscience, read it on the podcast without Raven knowing. So I told her. I told her everything I know so far and why I'm so interested. She took it surprisingly well. She sees the podcast as an opportunity more than anything. It can hopefully spread more awareness of Colleen's disappearance. That's what we're aiming for now, at least. This podcast is now dedicated to Colleen, and any information we can find to help the investigation. So, thank you, Raven, for being so cool about this. I really hope we can make a difference somehow. I've spent the last 2 days doing non-stop reading. Based on her journal, I can tell Colleen was a very interesting person. There are countless pages in this that were written by a well-spirited teenage girl. However, the pages that concern me the most are the ones written towards the back of the book. So, those are the only ones I'm going to read here. April 11th, 2009. I got to spend the whole day with Mom. We went out of town to go to that one really big mall. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really fun. Feeling kinda carsick though. Mom told me to take Duke outside, but when he went to do his business in the backyard, I almost threw up. Anyway, I got the house to myself tomorrow, so I'll probably just study all day. April 12th. Mom came home early today, so we studied together. We then went out to eat. It was pretty nice, but I've had something bothering me all day. Last night, after writing in the diary, I couldn't fall asleep. I think I was nervous about the math quiz on Wednesday, so I turned on the TV in my room and stayed up all night watching old shows. Eventually, the TV went to static. Something about it gave me the creeps. Even though it only lasted a couple minutes, the static was very freaky. It came on out of nowhere and stayed there for a bit. I hate it when TVs do that. When they cut off whatever you're watching and replace it with something so empty. I didn't sleep all night. Thankfully, today's Sunday, so I'll be able to make up for it tonight. April 13th. Barely passed my social studies quiz. Matt and Raven both failed. I feel bad, but they said they'll study with me next time, since I'm really good at it. Also, I've been thinking about the static from last night. I don't know why, but it's very distracting. It's part of the reason I almost failed the social studies test today. I guess I shouldn't stay up so late anymore. April 17th. Raven was going to spend the night, but Mom said we were going to be busy tomorrow. I was really looking forward to staying up all night, though. Maybe tonight I'll stay up by myself and try to see the TV turn off again. I wonder if it happens every night. April 18th. It did happen again. The static came on, but I wasn't scared of it this time. I find it really interesting, actually. Why does it happen? Mom and I were out and about pretty much all day today, so now I'm super tired, but I really want to see the static again. It's kind of fun to wait for it to happen. I can't decide if I should set an alarm to see it, or if I should let myself sleep in. It's only Saturday, but it's bad to not sleep for a long time. April 19th. Last night, I set an alarm, but I couldn't fall asleep. I was too excited, I guess. When the static came on, I thought it was louder than it was last time. Even with my TV turned down, it was pretty loud, but it still didn't scare me. Is this why people watch horror movies? They're loud and weird, but really interesting? I slept all day long. Mom was pretty upset about it. When I woke up, the sun was about to set. Hopefully I didn't just mess up my whole sleep schedule. April 22nd. I'm mad. I failed my English quiz today. Matt and Raven passed, so that's good. But I was too distracted to focus, and I failed because of it. I feel so stupid. Why am I making such a big deal out of this? Something has been bothering me lately. I don't really know how to explain this, but there's a weird feeling here, in this town. Every time I'm at the store, or at home, or at school, I feel it. I've always felt it. I've just never noticed it before. Whenever we leave town, the feeling goes away. Like a weight you didn't even know you had. That's how I felt when we went to the mall the other day. I thought it was car sickness when we came home. That's how I feel every time we go to Aunt Tia's house. I don't know if it's the fumes in the air or something, but it's only in our town, I think. We live in the country. Shouldn't the air be nicer here? April 24th. The weird feeling hasn't left yet. I told Raven about it, but I don't think she understands. I don't want to tell my parents because they'll just think it's stupid, but honestly, to me, I think I might be on the verge of discovering a big mystery, like something from a Nancy Drew book. But the answer's probably not that interesting. Also, I'm planning on staying up all night again since it's Friday. There's something really satisfying about watching the channel go dead. It's like a lunar eclipse. You get to see something cool happen that only happens every once in a while. But instead of everyone seeing it, it's just me, which is even cooler. Also, I've been really enjoying the old cowboy shows that come on really late. So that's another reason to stay up. April 25th. I think something's wrong. The TV was even louder last night than it was before. It was so loud I thought it would wake up everyone in the house. But then something weird happened. I realized I was the only person who could hear it. Like, not the white noise, but the stuff the white noise was made out of. The dots on the TV and the crackles and the sound. It was really weird, but really cool. I'm definitely staying up again tonight. This next paragraph seems to be an addendum from the same day at a later time. Dad is such a jerk sometimes. Duke ran into the forest again, so Dad and I went to look for him. The forest is creepy, but I got over it so we could find Duke. Dad didn't even look that hard. I told him we could go deeper in, but he didn't want to get lost. He said Duke would find his way back to the house by himself, but we could have looked harder. I don't even get it. He loves Duke so much. Why give up like that? Maybe he's scared of wild animals. He told me to go back inside and watch a movie. Mom, me, and Dad all watched Finding Nemo. It was funny, but I kept thinking about Duke and how mad I was at Dad. April 26th. Duke hasn't come back yet. After Mom and Dad fell asleep, I waited by the backyard all night for him, but he never showed up. I was out there so long by the time I came inside, my TV was already staticky. The static was even louder this time, but I knew nobody else could hear it, so I wasn't worried. Something else did bother me, though. It's like the crackles had a voice, and they were trying to talk the whole time, but I wasn't listening well enough to hear them. Now that I can hear them, I can't make out what they're saying. It doesn't sound like regular talking. At school, we all did puzzles and riddles together. I told Matt and Raven about the static, but they thought it was just another riddle. I guess it is in a weird way. Maybe I can write a book about it someday. It'll be the story of how I solved the mystery of Justice Lake. Like Nancy Drew, but more creepy. A decoded message from beyond the grave or something neat like that. April 27th. School was horrible. Miss Danielewski saw I was tired and let me nap at my desk for a couple minutes, but it didn't help me get anything done. I failed every paper we got. That didn't really bother me, though. I was too busy thinking about the weird thing on the TV all day to concentrate. I told Raven about it, and she said she thinks it's aliens mind-controlling me. She might be right, actually. But still, I have to figure out where it comes from. Guess I'll just get abducted. April 28th. I know I'm not supposed to do this during the week, but I stayed up again last night. I was woozy at school, and I almost passed out. Can you believe that? I've never passed out before. For some reason, I didn't think I would feel this bad already. But I've got to fix my sleep schedule, or else I'm in trouble. April 29th. Last night, I tossed and turned for a long time before I could fall asleep. It's like I can never get this stuff off my mind. When I was lying there, I realized something. I only noticed the weird feeling in this town after I saw the static for the first time. They might have something to do with each other, but I don't know how. Matt and Raven told me I should probably stop watching the static. I don't think they believe me when I say something weird is going on in this town. Mom and Dad sure wouldn't. When I told Mom and Dad about school, they said I should probably see a therapist. But I feel fine. I just need to focus and get school back on track. I can solve the mystery next weekend. May 1st. I was nervous all day long. School was okay. Not like amazing, just okay. It's hard not to think about it. The voice and all the other weird stuff. Miss Danielewski was getting annoyed with me during the second period. I was writing down a bunch of theories instead of paying attention in class. I get it, but I don't really care. I just need to know where this feeling comes from, and what it has to do with the TV. Matt and Raven didn't ask to spend the night like usual. I think they think I'm weird now, or they think there's something wrong with me. They still talk to me, but it's different now. They treat me like a kid or something. It's annoying. I haven't changed, I've just found something. May 2nd. I think the Static knows where Duke is. Last night, I stayed up again, which is fine since it was Friday, and the Static said something about Duke. That's what it's been trying to tell me this whole time. Duke is still alive. I'm still trying to figure out what it all meant, but I'm onto something. I just know it. I really hope it'll bring him back. Mom and Dad sat down and talked with me about school. They seemed really worried, but they wouldn't get it. I don't have time to worry about school while I'm trying to bring Duke back. Something is talking to me, and I'm the only one who can figure out what it's saying. Maybe it means something important. Maybe I can even save the whole town from a curse. That's my theory, at least. There's a curse that makes everyone feel uneasy. May 3rd. Duke is still alive, and he's waiting for me. That's what the Static said. He's deep inside the forest somewhere. How do I find him? I can't just wander off into the woods alone. But he's not going to come to me. I was going to tell Mom and Dad so they can go with me, but I still don't think that's a good idea. I need to figure out where he is first, then I can tell them. The forest is huge, and it goes on for miles. There's no way we'll find him if we don't know where we're going. May 4th. Something happened on the way to school this morning. Mom was driving and I was looking out the window at the forest, and I told her to stop because I saw Duke, but I was lying. I didn't see Duke. I just knew where he was. When we pulled over, though, he wasn't there. I was calling out with Mom for a couple minutes into the forest, but he never came. When I got to school, I told Raven about it, and she seemed confused when I explained everything to her. She must think I'm crazy now. But that's okay, because when I find proof and I fix the town, everyone's gonna know I'm not crazy. May 5th. I completely forgot we had another math quiz today. My principal said if I keep showing up late to class, I'll get in big trouble. But that's not what's really on my mind. I stayed up last night anyway, and the Static told me exactly where to go. I'm ready for this. Also, I recorded the Static on my tape recorder. That way, I could listen to it again, in case I missed anything, and I could show Mom and Dad. I think I'll wait until tomorrow, though, since they're pretty unhappy with me right now. May 6th. Something terrible is going on here. After school, I told Mom and Dad everything. I told them about the Static and the town and Duke. I even let them hear the tape. But for some reason, they still didn't believe me. They told me it was just my brain playing tricks on me, since I haven't slept a lot. I get that idea, but their reasons didn't make any sense. They said the Static is normal out in the country, but why does it only come on at night? They said the weird feeling is all the pollen in the air, but it doesn't feel like allergies at all. And they said Duke came back the other day, but he hasn't yet. Not really, at least. He's in the spot in the forest where the town can't reach you. I don't blame Mom and Dad, though. They still don't get what's going on because Justice Lake won't let them. It's controlling them, moving their brains around like Play-Doh. It won't let them hear what I hear. If we didn't live in this town, they would understand what I'm trying to say. The only thing I can do now is reach the spot the Static told me about. If I could just get a piece of that place and bring it back with me somehow, my parents will see what I see. It's my job to set them free from the curse. I'll go tonight. May 7th. Last night, I went into the forest like I said I would. Usually it's scary, but the thought of getting to the spot made me feel braver. I had a flashlight, but it didn't help like I thought it would. In movies, the forest is blue and the moon is bright. But in real life, it's all just black. The wind was whistling like a person, and I almost walked into a couple spider webs. But I never found the spot. I thought I was getting closer and closer, but the more I walked, the further it got. Like the end of a rainbow. It was always in front of me, but I couldn't reach it yet. I guess it's really deep. I might have to go a little bit earlier so I don't get lost in the dark. I wanted to come home before Mom and Dad got up so I wouldn't get caught and get into trouble. Duke almost gave me away by barking, but I reached him in time. Mom and Dad could tell I was up to something, though, because I was having a hard time waking up. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'll tell Mom and Dad I'm going to Raven's house. Then I'll go into the forest in the middle of the day so I can look all day long. The next paragraph is another addendum from the same day. When I went to school, Raven was talking to me all day long, which is weird since she hasn't done that a lot. I thought she was just being nice, but then I realized Mom and Dad probably talked to her. I even caught her reading my journal. They want her to look into me. It feels terrible being treated like that, and even though I know I shouldn't have, I yelled at her. That really got me in trouble. I thought Miss Danielewski would take me to detention, but she didn't. She took me into her office, sat down, and talked to me. The same way everyone else does. They look at me like they want to help me with something. I'm so used to that look now, it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't mean anything to me. When I came home, I didn't tell Mom or Dad what happened. I told them I was going to hang out at Raven's house. They believed me. I guess they were just happy I was getting out of the house. I put a few bottles of water, some bug spray, and a flashlight in my backpack. Mom and Dad thought it was just homework. After that, I walked down the road for a while. I got back to where we passed by in the car the other day. That's where it's closest. Next to the road. It's like a shortcut through the forest, but it was still too far away. How big is this forest? I walked for so long it became night. The feeling was always close. It kept me brave, even when I ran out of water. I didn't make it, though. My feet hurt so bad and I was super thirsty. So I sat down by a tree and relaxed. But then I saw lights really far away. For a second I thought it really was aliens, but it was actually the flashlights my parents were holding because they were looking for me. Turns out they were following me the whole time. Raven told her parents about my journal, and her parents told my parents. They were angrier than I've ever seen them. They screamed and got all red and grounded me. I almost think they aren't supposed to be that angry. Whatever's controlling them wants me to stay out of the woods. It's trying to scare me, but I can't give up. Mom and Dad took away my TV. They said it was rotting my brain or something. They don't even know why they did it. They were told to do it. Oh well, I don't need it anymore. I know where to go. The next paragraph has no date. It caught me again. Mom and Dad won't listen. They keep bringing me back. When I find it, I'm going to end it. Mom and Dad want to send me to the hospital. I heard them crying. It's smart, trying to trick me. But I'll find it first. I'm good at finding things. On the second day, I heard its heart beating. It was all around the trees. It sounded low and it made my head rumble. I tried to follow it, but I couldn't. It's very, very smart. I was walking for so long, eventually I passed out. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I told the nurses and doctors I feel better now, and that I don't feel anything strange. It's like I'm playing a game. But if I lose, we all lose. They probably didn't believe me. This thing has an influence on everyone here. It's holding them close. I'm gonna have to bide my time, get prepared, wait until it's night. Then I don't stop walking. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long I'm out there, I'm going to find its heart.